This is
bodybuilding.
So we're back, and what I'm gonna do is I got the George Foreman. Here, let's come a little bit closer here, because not everybody's seen every single one. Come down a little bit more. You see that extra tray there, down there? I got the elevated George Foreman a little bit more, and this model is the only one that I've had before that will be able to get elevated at the back and also allow me to switch the trays without getting all bogged up here. So switch the trays around, and then this is my my stinky jar here. I don't want to put this down the drain, just so all this stuff it'll turn to, like, you know, thick fat, right? That'll clog your drains up, and you don't want that. So you could dump it outside, but I mean, it'll just accumulate outside too, right? So I just put it in this jar here and send it to the landfill once it fills up. Smells repugnant after about a week, but keep the lid on. You won't even notice it until you open the lid, right? So at this point, you switch the trays around. You got your dirty spatula. My mother would kill me if I used a metal spatula on the Teflon, but this is my house. So what I'll do is, what I like to do is spin it around clockwise. The reason why I do that is because the outside doesn't really cook as fast as the inside. So I'll take that inside, put it in the middle, and then rotating it will put the most cooked part to the outside where it cooks the fastest, right? Or the slowest, sorry. And then do it again. Give that a little spin. Right, so now you got the least cooked part in the middle where it's the hottest. Flip it around. And this is where I start cutting. I don't really want to make ground beef right now. I just want to increase the surface area and the flow paths to allow the grease to drain a little bit more. So I'm just kind of opening it up a little bit. I'll make it into ground beef when I put it in the strainer there. So I'm just cutting little lines. I kind of waited a little bit too long to start chopping it up. I'd like it a little bit more raw than this, but whatever. And then once I've cut those lines, I just chop it up, and I'm just destroying the Teflon. But this is an old George Foreman. I'm probably going to replace it. I replace my George Foreman probably once a year. Maybe 6 months or 8 months, so I don't expect it to last much longer than that. I just hate it when it sticks. Right? As you can see here, it's still a little bit red in the middle there, and the rest was so now it's a little bit more chopped up. Let her go there. And at this point, this should be nice and dry, right? You got about 1/3 heat. So at this point, this is when I start measuring my food out. Measure my food out, get this pan empty after weighing everything out. And then by the time that I have this all bagged and ready, this should be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So we'll come back once this is ready. It's not really rocket science after this is done. I'd say I just kind of wait for it starts making a different sound as it cooks, right? You can tell when it's done dripping. Flicker off. At this point, I want to clean the tray because over months and months of cooking it like this, I realize that it's just really annoying to try to get the ground beef out when the tray is full. What you want to do is clean the tray, then do your switch, and then now you want to get the good ground beef out. See how it falls in that tray? It's not falling in the big pile of grease. It's clean. See that? Bro science. Chopping it up into ground beef. And In the frying pan is when I add my seasoning. I like taco seasoning, or I don't put any seasoning on there, and then I just kind of do the hot sauce thing. But you don't want to do too much hot sauce in your diet. Ass will turn on fire. Right? And there you go. You can see all I got the hot water going, because cold water won't. It'll start solidifying the fat instead of trying to remove it. And also by chopping it up, you increase the surface area. And okay guys, so I'm putting the meat that I had cooked from the beginning of the video back on the stove. That's so I allow the water to evaporate a little bit, because I had used water to rinse off the residual fat on the meat in the strainer. I put it on about 1/3 heat in the frying pan, and that's so I'm not weighing water while I'm weighing out my food. I want to make sure I got all the macronutrients weighed out, and I'm not 1/3 of it will be water at that point. And that's a good time to put on my seasoning and so on. And then at that point, once I've thrown on my seasoning, I put on a new batch of ground beef into the George Foreman and continue the process. 2 weeks ago. Have a look how full it is right now. Come have a look. It's almost full. That's 2 weeks of fat. Okay? It's a lot. And so this will take some time to dry out. And people always ask me, how do you clean the George Foreman grill? If you were so sheltered in life that you never had to work dish pit or something like that, very, very unfortunate. So, it's there. And water's your friend. I'll do it 2 stages. Take my sponge here, get some soap, right? A little more water. And the key to saving your Teflon is not scrubbing at this point. Just give it some soap. Come back in about 5 minutes, let it loosen up a little bit, then scrub her down. I don't really worry about getting it wet. It seems to behave pretty good getting wet. So, and then I just clean it till she's nice and sparkly clean. Give the counter a nice clean job so no one's getting all mad that you got everything all fatty and greasy. You're good to go. So cooking methods with the ground beef. I like the ground beef because it's cheaper than the chicken. You can eat a lot more protein for cheaper by ground beef. And doing it this way, I'm still pretty lean, staying jacked. You know what I'm saying? After about 4 or 5 months contest prep, off season, because we're always prepping. I call it it's all contest prep, right? This is kind of like off season contest prep, because I'm still going to the gym every day, still dieting. It's just a different theme of dieting, you know what I'm saying? So looking forward to my next show. I'm not sure when it's coming up. I'm just waiting for my trainer to press the button and say go, and that's when I start moving towards another goal. But for now, it's just kind of trying to adjust to my new job, and really appreciate all the support. I think I just popped off 800 now, so all you new subs, check out all the training videos, motivation videos, natural bodybuilding kind of talk, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the training. I came up with a new program. I really love it. I'm sore all over. Every day I'm sore. I have just enough time for my muscles to ripen up and get, unsore, and then I smash them again. Hello ladies. I guess I should address you too if you guys have watched this video. You could use this cooking technique, the ground beef, to put in, lasagna, chili, spaghetti, anything that requires ground beef, and you wouldn't even notice it's really dry because you have all the sauces and everything to kind of absorb into the meat, and it'd be a really good way to make a really lean pasta with some ground beef in there, right? So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Cheers. Bodybuilding, cooking, ground beef 101. You guys have a good week.